Hi guys, Jay Walker here, and I'm in the Geely Okavango. This is Geely's first 7-seater crossover here in the Philippines, and in this video, we'll get the test drive. Is it worth your money? Let's find out. The Okavango is Geely's largest crossover, but it's not their most expensive. It sits between the Coolray and the Ascara in terms of pricing. In terms of design, it's a bit of a departure for Geely. While the Coolray and the Ascara are pretty sleek looking, the Okavango has a more squared off look to it. In fact, squares are a recurring theme in the design of the Okavango, especially on the interior. The front overhang of the Okavango is pretty short, and it has a pretty flat looking face. It's a more blunt looking vehicle than the Coolray and the Ascara. The front is dominated by the largest iteration of the expanding Cosmos grille. It is flanked on both sides by LED headlights with daytime running lights. The fog lamps have a pretty interesting design. You have 3 LED fog lamps on each side of the bumper, and you have fins in between them. When you see it from the side, you can very clearly see the size difference between the Okavango and the Ascara. The Okavango is 12.5 inches longer than the Ascara. It needs to be longer to accommodate the third row seats. It has a pretty boxy side profile, which is excellent for maximizing interior space. It rides on 18-inch wheels. At the back, it looks quite similar to the Ascara. You have Geely's signature metal accent here, with the word Geely embossed on it. It doesn't get fake exhaust tips, which everyone seems to hate. Overall, I don't think it looks as attractive as the Ascara or the Coolray, but it is not a bad-looking vehicle. We've talked about the interior of the Okavango in my previous video, but the lighting in the showroom was pretty dim, so let's check it out again under better lighting. Like I said before, there's a rectangular theme going on here. The push start button is a rectangle. You have these rectangular air vents, and because of the way these accents wrap around the aircon vents, they become focal points in the interior. They give the interior a more chunky look. The center console is tall and it has a thin profile. I think it gives the interior a more modern look. You have a lot of storage and a power outlet underneath. Compared to the Ascara, it's not quite as premium. You have some hard plastics here. But compared to Japanese brands at this price bracket, this interior looks luxurious. This is leather wrapped. I'm not sure. It looks like real leather, and it's very thickly padded. This is also leather. This is hard plastic though. And you also get leather seats with white stitching. This is leather. This is your knob for selecting the drive modes. Now, in my previous video, I said that the Okavango is a 4-wheel drive. That was a mistake. It's only 2-wheel drive. Like the Geely Coolray and the Ascara, the Okavango also has a 360 camera. Over here are 2 USB ports. Steering is very light. The vehicle has electronic steering. So you get a digital screen here. So you get a digital tachometer, a digital speedometer. Okay, so one thing that separates the Okavango from other crossovers in this price bracket is that not only does it have aircon vents at the back, it also has a separate zone. So you can adjust the temperature separately from the temperature at the front. You also get a lot of legroom, but the seat is adjustable. If the third row passengers need more legroom, you can move this forward. Headroom is pretty good. I have about, I'm guessing that's 4 inches of headroom. So here at the third row I have decent headroom. So legroom here is a bit compromised, but if you have a willing passenger at the front, you can move the second row seat forward to give you more, a bit more knee room. You have one cup holder here and some storage. Okay, so the Geely Okavango has 257 liters of space with the third row seats up. As you can see, it barely fits my camera bag. Okay, but you can expand the space to 2,050 liters if you fold the third row seats down and also the second row seats. The Okavango has a 3-cylinder, 1.5-liter turbocharged engine. It has the same engine as the Geely Coolray, but like the Escara, it is also coupled to a small electric motor. It may only have a 1.5-liter engine, but don't let the low displacement fool you. It has the most powerful engine in its class. The gasoline engine alone produces 177 horsepower. Coupled with the electric motor, it produces a total of 190 horsepower and 300 Newton meters of torque. Like the Escara and the Coolray, the Okavango also has a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission. Sitting in the Okavango, you feel like you're in a more expensive vehicle. NVH levels are pretty good and all the touch points are soft padded. You also get a pretty good sense of space here. You have plenty of shoulder room. The seats have plenty of adjustments. Since I like driving with a low seating position, I have it adjusted at its lowest setting. And I have about 6 inches of headroom. So even if you're 6'3" or 6'4", I think you'll have enough headroom here. The Okavango has a mild hybrid system. Unlike full hybrids, there is no electric-only mode. The electric motor only has 13 horsepower and it can't push the vehicle on its own. What the motor does is it supplements the power of the petrol engine when you're accelerating, and it also allows the engine to rest during coasting and when you're slowing down to a complete stop. During my test drive though, I never saw the engine turn off even at a stoplight. But I guess certain conditions have to be met before that happens. I'm guessing that's because it was really hot that day and the aircon compressor was running at full power. So battery power was a bit more in demand. As for fuel efficiency, I didn't get to test drive the Okavango long enough to get a proper reading. The Okavango though has the same powertrain as the Escara. The Escara is lighter, but the Okavango is only 2-wheel drive, so there's a bit less power drain. So I'm guessing that fuel consumption is very similar to the Escara. The Escara gets 8.5 kpl in heavy traffic, 13 kpl in light traffic, and about 20 kpl on the highway. A bit of torque steer there. If I do get to spend more time with the Okavango though, I'll update the description with a proper fuel consumption reading. The Okavango has the same engine as the Coolray, but it's not gonna feel as sporty because of its larger size. Acceleration is very gradual. It is smooth. It doesn't violently push you back into your seat, but it builds up speed at a pretty good rate. It's so smooth that sometimes you don't realize how fast you're going until you see the speedometer. The Okavango will come in 2 variants. This right here is the top of the line Okavango Urban. Both variants will come with the same mild hybrid system. Both variants are front-wheel drive. Both are 7-seaters. The top of the line gets leather seats and a 360 camera. You get a 10.25-inch high-resolution screen. You don't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but you do get QD-Link. You get tri-zone climate control, and you get a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty. The Okavango doesn't have the Geely Coolray's active park assist. It also doesn't have a panoramic sunroof, which both the Coolray and the Ascara have. At this price of 1.2 to 1.3 million, if you want a 7-seater, you can get either a Japanese MPV like the Expander or the Toyota Rush, which are all inferior to the Okavango in almost every way. Or you could get the Chery Tiggo 8, which is currently the only other Chinese crossover priced at 1.3 million. I personally got to drive the Tiggo 8 for almost a week, and I was quite impressed with it. I only got to spend a couple of hours with the Okavango, but I was quite impressed with what I've seen so far. Both vehicles have advantages. The Okavango has a mild hybrid system, which should make it more fuel efficient. It has a more powerful engine. It has a much better 360 camera. And it has tri-zone climate control. The Tiggo 8 though has a panoramic sunroof. It has higher ground clearance. It comes with a better PMS package and a longer warranty. Chery offers a 10-year, 1 million kilometer engine warranty, a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer general warranty, and 3 years of free PMS for the Tiggo 8. So overall, both vehicles are good. You get more features on the Okavango, but the Tiggo 8 offers a longer warranty. So you pick and choose which features matter to you more. I have a bold prediction. I think Geely is going to be one of the top brands in the Philippines in the next few years. Even now, they're outselling a lot of Japanese brands in the subcompact crossover market. They consistently churn out excellent products that are priced very aggressively. They've elevated the image of the brand to the point where it's not just viewed as a more affordable alternative to Japanese brands. Their products are better in almost every way. Based on the views on YouTube alone, you can tell that there's a huge interest in the brand. And based on the sales of the Geely Coolray, you can tell that that interest translates into sales. When the Geely Coolray was introduced last year, it disrupted the market, and it may have even forced some car brands to discontinue certain models because they just couldn't compete. It offered features that you only used to expect on more expensive cars at a price point where you only used to expect the most basic of features. Time will tell if the Okavango will disrupt the market the way the Coolray did, but based on what I've seen and its very aggressive pricing, I think it may do just that.